Using very advanced technology and procedures, archaeologists discovered the biggest anaconda in the world.
People that told me that they found a 60-foot anaconda.
And reports of the discovery of a massive anaconda in the Amazon piqued Joe Rogan's interest, leading to intense discussions on his podcast about the enigmatic creature.
It's literally just this churning death march. Life is like a momentary stasis in this recycling of death, and it's like...
Now 30 is a big anaconda, but you're talking about those mysterious 50, 100 footers.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
As the anaconda's colossal size and unknown ecology were explored, unsettling questions arose about its implications for the Amazon's fragile ecosystem. Also, a recent scientific expedition uncovered bones of a colossal ancient snake, estimated to be 42 to 45 feet long, linking it to a scorching prehistoric era, hinting at the Amazon's haunting past and its hidden, monstrous inhabitants. So, when reports emerged about the discovery of an unusually massive anaconda in the Amazon, it captured Joe Rogan's interest instantaneously. On his podcast, the discovery of the giant anaconda became a central topic of discussion. As always, Rogan sought to bridge the gap between myth and reality by inviting herpetologists, biologists, and even eyewitnesses to share their perspectives. He created a comprehensive tapestry of what this discovery could mean. Beyond the sheer size of the creature, questions arose about its ecology, behavior, and what such an immense predator's existence might indicate about the health and state of the Amazon ecosystem. Rogan's discussions often meandered into larger themes: the rapid deforestation of the Amazon, the potential undiscovered species hiding in its depths, and the balance between local communities, corporate interests, and conservation. The anaconda became a symbol of the rainforest's mysteries and the urgency to preserve them. So, everything started in 1960 with a groundbreaking discovery of a 33-foot-long anaconda in the heart of Venezuela. Such news, coming from a region already shrouded in mystery and awe due to its dense rainforests and uncharted terrains, seemed both astonishing and conceivable. As the tale of this gargantuan snake spread, it fed into the growing global curiosity about the Amazon and its hidden wonders. Upon the discovery of the snake, initial reports spread like wildfire. These reports claimed that local inhabitants of a remote Venezuelan village came across the massive serpent. Captured images, although grainy and lacking the clarity of today's high-resolution photography, seemed to substantiate the claims. Researchers, journalists, and snake enthusiasts flocked to the region, hoping to validate the claim. In 1960, much of its vast expanse was even less explored than today. Dense canopies, vast rivers, and indigenous tribes with limited contact with the outside world added layers of mystique to the region. In such an environment, the idea of stumbling upon a creature of exceptional size seemed entirely plausible. The Amazon has consistently yielded discoveries of new species and rare creatures. The discovery of the 33-foot anaconda did more than just excite the herpetological community. It bolstered Venezuela's position on the global map as a haven for biodiversity. The country saw a surge in interest from wildlife enthusiasts, biologists. This information stems from a recent finding published in the journal Nature. A bunch of scientists from different countries found some parts of a really big snake in Colombia. They took these parts to a museum in Florida. One of the scientists there, named Jonathan Block, looked at the size of the old bones and figured out that the snake used to be around 42 to 45 feet long. That's as long as a T-Rex named Sue that you can see in a museum in Chicago. Block, along with Carlos Jaramillo, a plant expert from Panama's Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, led the team that went on the expedition. Block mentioned that while giant snakes in movies like Anaconda are super fascinating, the real snake they found is even bigger. The snake in the movie that tried to eat Jennifer Lopez isn't as large as the one they discovered. Jason Head, a scientist who studies old things at the University of Toronto in Mississauga and the main person behind the paper, talked about Titanoboa like this. The snake's body was so wide that if it were moving down the hall and decided to come into my office to eat me, it would literally have to squeeze through the door. In addition to weighing around 1.25 tons, the snake existed during a time called the Paleocene epoch. This was a period of about 10 million years, right after the dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, as explained by Bloch. While they were on their research trip, the scientists also discovered lots of big turtle and ancient crocodile-like creature skeletons. These creatures were most likely food for the snake, Bloch added. Before experts started their research, nobody had found any old animal bones in the area between 65 million and 55 million years ago in the warm parts of South America. This made it hard for them to know what life was like in that part of the world. Bloch explained that now they have a chance to look into the past, right after the dinosaurs disappeared, and learn about the new animals that took their place. The fact that the snake was so huge tells us that temperatures around the middle of the Earth used to be much hotter, according to Bloch. Animals like snakes, which depend on the temperature around them to stay warm, can only grow as big as the temperature allows. When scientists observe animals that rely on the environment for their body heat today, they see that the bigger ones are found in the hottest areas near the equator. As they move away from the equator, they tend to get smaller. By considering the snake's size, the researchers could figure out that around 60 million years ago, the average temperature in equatorial South America was about 91 degrees Fahrenheit. This was approximately 10 degrees hotter than it is now, explained Bloch. Finding these huge snakes and freshwater turtles from 60 million years ago tells us that even back then, the building blocks of the Amazon rainforest's current tropical ecosystem were already there, according to what he said. Usually, it's tough to find old fossils in the forests of the tropics because the rocks are hidden. However, they were able to dig in the Carajón coal mine in Colombia's north, where the rocks were visible. This was an amazing chance to uncover fossils that couldn't be found anywhere else, as explained by Bloch. Once the scientists brought the old remains to the Florida Museum of Natural History, it was two students, Alex Hastings and Jason Bork, from the University of Florida, who were the first to realize that these bones were from a super big snake. Bloch explained that an expert named Head, who knows a lot about ancient snakes, teamed up with another scientist named David Polly from Indiana University. Together, they used the connection between the size of a snake's body and its backbone to estimate how long and heavy the snake was. They did this by comparing the sizes of modern snakes and their backbones to figure out the ancient snake's size based on its old backbones. Furthermore, the earliest mention of this mysterious creature was written down by Percy H. Fawcett, a British mapmaker and adventurer who explored South America in early 1900. Fawcett's initial journey began in 1906 in Brazil. In 1907, he went to Bolivia. There, he said he encountered and killed a huge snake-like animal while it was swimming near his boat in unclear water. According to Fawcett, this snake was about 19 meters long and at least 30 cm wide. Back then, Fawcett had also said he saw some more strange things, like a dog with two noses and a really big spider called Apazauca. But most scientists didn't believe these stories and didn't take Fawcett's words too seriously. In modern times, we've learned that the dogs with two noses that Fawcett saw might have been a kind of dog called double-nosed Andean tiger hounds, which come from Bolivia. And the big Apazauca spider he talked about might have been a Brazilian wandering spider. If these ideas could be true, then how sure can we be that the giant anaconda is totally made up? Fawcett kept going on more expeditions. While he traveled, he motivated lots of other people who wanted to explore, and his adventures even had an impact on a book called The Lost World, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in 1912. Because of his more believable discoveries, he got a medal from the Royal Geographical Society, a group in the UK that's all about geography. They liked his work mapping out the Amazon. He wasn't just making up wild stories in the jungle. Fawcett was a real explorer, so what he talked about should be considered quite seriously. People who live in the Amazon also share old stories about a huge creature called Yakumama, which they say was more than 30 meters long. Considering that there are many stories told both in words and in writing from the same area, where there are known to be really big snakes and lots of different animals, it's not too unlikely that a creature like this might have actually existed in the past. When they discovered a green anaconda about 23 feet long in Brazil near the borders of Paraguay and Bolivia, the thought that even longer anacondas might be in unexplored parts of the Amazon doesn't sound crazy. Similar to other animals, it might just be staying hidden in unclear waters, as the people who say they've seen it suggest. By now, it's possible that the anaconda has become really good at blending in with the water and trees. It's managed to survive for so long because there hasn't been another animal to attack it or compete with it. The tangled system of water paths and the dense forest would be an ideal place for this creature to stay hidden. That's it for today. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.